The night of the prom was bright and full of excitement. The big hall at the school was shining with colorful lights and the sound of music filled the air. Everyone was dressed up nicely, smiling and laughing, ready to have a memorable night. Maya walked toward the entrance of the hall, her heart beating fast. She was new to this school and did not know many people yet, but she wanted to feel like she belonged. The dress she wore was simple but elegant, a deep blue that made her eyes shine. Her black hair was tied back neatly, and her calm smile showed confidence. Outside the hall, luxury cars were parked, sparkling under the streetlights. Among them was a shiny black car driven by Ethan, the millionaire son of a famous businessman. Ethan was tall and handsome, with a proud smile that often made people feel small. He was known for being arrogant and loved to show off his money and power. Tonight he was with his group of friends, all laughing loudly as they prepared to enter the prom and take over the night. As Ethan and his friends walked into the hall, many heads turned. They knew him, and he loved the attention. He did not see the people. He saw trophies and fans. He noticed Maya standing near the entrance. Quiet and watching the crowd, she was new, and that made her different from the others. This made Ethan curious, but also gave him a chance to play. With a sly smile, Ethan moved towards Maya, attracting the eyes of his friends. "Hey," he said loudly, making sure everyone could hear. "Are you lost or just trying to find a party where you actually belong?" The words were sharp and meant to hurt, but Maya did not show it. She held her head high and smiled politely. Ethan laughed, proud of his own joke, and started to tell stories about how this prom was the best night ever, how everyone important was here, and how Maya would never be part of their world. People nearby started to listen and whispers began to spread. Maya noticed the whispers but kept calm. She remembered the hours she spent training in the boxing gym, the sweat and pain she accepted to become strong. She knew she was more than just a new girl or the clothes she wore. Deep inside, she carried a fire that Ethan and his friends could not see. Ethan stepped closer, his voice rising. "Maybe you should just leave and save yourself some embarrassment." His friends laughed louder now. Encouraging him, Maya took a deep breath and looked directly into Ethan's eyes. "I came here to enjoy the night like everyone else," she said softly but with power. "I'm not here to be afraid or silent." The room was quiet for a moment. Surprised by her brave answer, then music began again. People started dancing and laughing, but the tension between Ethan and Maya was still there. Like an unspoken challenge, Maya moved away calmly to find a place to sit. Her eyes watched Ethan closely. Knowing this was only the beginning, as she sat, she thought about how different this night was from the places she came from, where strength was often needed to survive. Ethan, meanwhile, was not used to being challenged. His friends nudged him, telling him to let it go, but he wanted to prove that he was the king of the night. He decided to make the night even harder for Maya, unaware that she was not just the new girl, but a fierce boxer who had learned to fight for respect. Maya smiled quietly to herself, remembering her coach's words, "Fight with your heart, not just your fists." She knew the night would be long, but she was ready. This prom was not going to break her spirit. As the night went on, the energy in the room grew. The lights flashed and the music pulsed, but Maya's calm presence was a powerful force. She didn't need the loud crowd or the fancy car to shine. Her strength was deeper, something that no one could buy or fake. And so the story of the night began, with a quiet girl and an arrogant boy, a story about power, pride, and the courage to stand up. It was a night that would change everything, in ways no one expected. The next day at school, the halls were buzzing with news about what happened at prom. Maya's quiet strength from the night before had quickly become the talk of the school. Students who never spoke to her before now offered small smiles of respect. Even some who had doubted her now watched her with a new curiosity. Ethan, however, was not pleased. His pride was hurt more than he cared to admit. The millionaire's son was used to getting what he wanted, and Maya's calm refusal to be embarrassed had pierced through his ego. At lunch, Ethan gathered his friends and whispered plans to regain control of the social scene. But Maya stayed focused on her own world, at home. She prepared for the challenges that lay ahead. Boxing was not just a sport to her. It was a way of life. It had taught her discipline, courage, and how to overcome fear. Her coach, Mrs. Johnson, had always told her that true fighters fought with honor and respect. At school, Maya's reputation grew quietly. She was no longer just the new girl. She was someone who stood her ground. But this new attention also brought new challenges. Some tried to test her with small taunts or rude comments, hoping to see if the quiet boxer would break. Maya met each challenge with calm confidence, her eyes never showing doubt. One afternoon, Ethan found Maya alone in the gymnasium, trying to prove that he was more than just a rich boy. He stepped toward her with a sneer. "You think you're tough because of your boxing?" he said loudly, drawing the attention of a few students nearby. "Let's see if you can handle real power," he challenged, showing off his expensive watch and muscles from the gym. Maya looked at Ethan, her eyes steady and calm. "Power comes from more than money," she said softly. "It comes from respect and strength in your heart." Her words surprised Ethan, who was used to people backing down quickly. He laughed nervously and left, feeling unsettled by her quiet strength. That evening, Maya returned to the boxing gym, where the sounds of punching bags and trainers filled the air. Mrs. Johnson greeted her with a proud smile. "You carried yourself well today," she said. "Remember, it's not just about fighting others. It's about fighting for yourself," Maya nodded, throwing precise punches at the heavy bag, her muscles working hard, sweat dripping down her face. Back at the school, Ethan was plotting. He talked to friends and classmates, trying to create stories to turn people against Maya. But the more he tried, the more people seemed to admire Maya's courage. Even some of Ethan's close friends started to question his actions. The night of the prom had changed something in the school's atmosphere. Maya's strength wasn't just about physical ability. It was her kindness and respect for others that made her stand apart. She helped classmates with their homework quietly, listened when someone needed to talk, and never bragged or showed off. This made her more than just a fighter. She became a symbol of true courage. One day, a group of students invited Maya to join the school's debate team, impressed by her calm and strong voice. They believed she could bring more than just physical power to their group. Maya accepted, seeing this as a new way to show her strength, not just with her fists but with her words. Meanwhile, Ethan's arrogance grew dangerous. He organized a plan to embarrass Maya again, thinking that showing his popularity and wealth would finally shake her confidence. He announced a challenge in front of the school. "If Maya thinks she's so tough, she should come to the gym after school for a real test," he said, expecting cheers, but this time no one cheered. The students were quiet, waiting to see what Maya would do. When Maya arrived at the gym, she didn't show fear or anger. Instead, she walked with purpose, ready to face any challenge with honor. Ethan tried to scare her with loud words and big actions, but Maya's calm eyes never wavered. The gym teacher stopped the crowd from growing too wild, reminding everyone that the school did not support fighting. Instead, they asked Maya and Ethan to settle their differences with respect. This moment showed that true strength was not about bullying or power plays, but about control and dignity. After the event, Maya's story spread beyond the school. Social media shared videos of her calm and confident answers, and many praised her as an example of how to face bullying with courage and grace. Maya never sought fame, but her actions inspired others to stand strong. Ethan was left to face the consequences of his behavior. His father, hearing about the incidents, took him aside for a serious talk. The millionaire son began to understand that money and pride were not enough to win respect. Maya had shown him a lesson he could not learn with money or force. As days passed, Maya continued to balance school, boxing, and her new friendships. She never forgot where she came from or what she had to fight for. She knew the road wouldn't always be easy, but her spirit was unbreakable. This was only the beginning of her journey, to become stronger and help others find their own courage. The school year moved forward, but the story of the new black girl who refused to be a victim stayed alive. Maya had become more than just a student. She was a symbol of strength against cruelty, a reminder that true power lies within. After the prom and the challenges that followed, Maya's life continued to change, but not always in ways she expected. The attention that came with standing up to Ethan brought new friends, but also new struggles. Some people admired her strength, while others whispered behind her back, jealous and unsure about someone so different from before. At school, Maya found herself balancing more than just classes and boxing. She had joined the debate team, and every week she spent time learning to speak with power and clarity. Sharing her thoughts in front of others was new and scary, but Maya embraced it. Her coach told her, "Your voice is as strong as your fists," and Maya believed it. One afternoon, while preparing for a big debate competition, Maya received a message from Ethan. It was surprising. He wanted to talk alone, The hallways seemed quieter as Maya walked to meet him, wondering what his real plan was. Ethan looked serious without the usual smug smile. "Look, Maya," he said, "I was wrong to treat you the way I did at prom. I didn't respect you, but I'm trying to understand things better now." His words caught Maya off guard. She didn't know whether to trust him or keep her guard up. Maya decided to listen. "It's not about winning or losing," she said. "It's about doing what's right and standing up for yourself." Ethan nodded, but the pain of losing face was clear in his eyes. For the first time, he felt small without his money or his friends to back him up. Despite the awkwardness, a small change began. Ethan stopped mocking others and tried to keep away from trouble. Maya kept focusing on her goals, training hard at the boxing gym and preparing for the debate. The school slowly started to see a new side of both of them. But not everyone was happy about the change. Some students thought Ethan's attitude was his true nature and warned Maya to watch out. Meanwhile, Maya felt torn between wanting to move forward and remembering what had happened. As weeks passed, Maya's boxing matches started to attract attention beyond the school. Her coach encouraged her to compete in local tournaments, where she could test her skills and show what she was really capable of. The fights were tough, but Maya's heart was stronger. Each match taught her more about discipline, courage, and never giving up. One evening after a hard training session, Maya received a call from a reporter, interested in telling her story. The reporter said many people wanted to hear about the new girl who stood up to a bully and became a champion boxer. Maya was nervous, but agreed. Knowing the story was bigger than just her, meanwhile, Ethan's father had arranged a meeting with Maya's coach. Hoping to find a way to help his son grow, Mrs. Johnson told him about Maya's journey, the challenges she faced and the strength she found in boxing. She said, "Real power is about respect, and Maya has learned that well." Ethan's father listened carefully, realizing that his son had a lot to learn about life beyond wealth. Back at school, a new event was announced, a charity boxing match where students could raise money for local causes. Maya and Ethan were both invited. The event was more than a fight. It was a chance to bring students together and heal old wounds. Ethan was nervous about the match, not because he feared losing in the ring, but because he feared losing the chance to change how people saw him. Maya felt the same. Her fight was about more than winning. It was about proving that courage came from within. The night of the charity match arrived, and the gym was filled with cheering students and teachers. As Maya and Ethan faced each other, the past hung between them like a shadow. The fight began, but it was different from the usual fights. Maya used her skill and heart but showed respect to Ethan, who was trying his best in every move. There was a lesson about forgiveness, strength, and understanding. The fight ended not with a clear winner, but with a handshake that surprised everyone. This moment marked a new beginning. Maya and Ethan both learned that respect was earned, not taken. And the story of the girl who was once bullied grew into a story of courage, growth, and change. As the weeks passed after the charity boxing match, Maya's life began to change in ways she never expected. The night of the fight had brought attention to her strength both inside and outside the ring. More students began to see her not just as the new girl, but as someone worthy of respect and admiration. Maya still trained hard every day, pushing her body and mind to the limit. At the gym, her coach, Mrs. Johnson, helped her prepare for upcoming regional boxing tournaments. "You have the heart of a champion," Mrs. Johnson told her one afternoon. "But always remember to use your strength to lift others up, not just to fight." Maya nodded, feeling proud and ready for the challenge ahead. At school, Maya's growing popularity made Ethan uncomfortable. He was no longer the leader everyone listened to. Maya's courage had shifted the balance, but Ethan wasn't ready to give up his pride. He started to avoid Maya at school, not because he was scared, but because he didn't know how to face her now. One day, Maya was walking through the school hallway when she overheard some students gossiping. They talked about Ethan's family and how they had lost some of their wealth due to bad business deals. This news spread quickly, and soon Ethan was no longer untouchable. People saw how fragile even the richest son could be. Maya felt a mixture of emotions. She knew what it was like to struggle and fight for survival, but she did not wish harm on anyone. She decided to focus on her own growth instead, and she continued to prepare for the biggest tournament of her life. The regional boxing championship was just days away. Before the tournament, Maya's coach gave her a piece of advice. The real fight is not just in the ring, but in your mind. Stay calm, focused, and believe in yourself. These words stayed with Maya as she stepped onto the stage for the first match. The crowd was large and the pressure was high, but Maya's calm eyes never wavered. Her first opponent was strong and experienced, but Maya's quick moves, precise punches, and inner strength saw her through. Round after round, she fought with grace and power, drawing cheers and respect from the crowd. For every punch she landed, she remembered why she fought: for her family, for her dreams, for the girl who once felt lost at prom back at school. Ethan watched the videos of Maya's fights. His eyes were open to a new reality. Strength was more than money or bullying. He started to think about the way he had treated others, and slowly he began to change. Ethan reached out to Maya with a simple message. "Congratulations on your win," it read. Maya smiled, knowing that respect was being earned bit by bit. Meanwhile, the school held an assembly to honor the students who had used their talents to inspire others. Maya was called to the stage. The applause was warm and genuine as she spoke about her journey, about fighting not just in the ring but against fear and hate. Her words touched many hearts, and she became a role model for students facing their own battles. Ethan listened from the back of the room, feeling a mixture of pride and regret. The arrogant boy who once bullied Maya had learned an important lesson about humility and respect. He realized that true strength was not in power over others, but in the courage to grow and change. After the assembly, Maya and Ethan had a quiet talk outside, away from prying eyes. "You have changed," Maya said softly. "And so have I," Ethan replied. "I want to be better, not just for me, but for everyone around me." The past troubles remained, but a new understanding had begun. As the story of the ruthless boxer from the neighborhood spread beyond their school, Maya kept training and preparing for bigger competitions. She knew her fight was just beginning. But she was no longer alone. Her friends, her coach, and even some former rivals stood beside her, ready to face the future with strength and hope. The night of the big tournament arrived, and Maya stood tall, her heart steady and her spirit unbroken. The lights shone brightly, the crowd cheered loudly, and Maya knew that she was ready to face whatever came next. This was more than a fight. It was a story of courage, resilience, and the power to change. The day before the big tournament, Maya felt a mix of nerves and excitement. The gym was quiet except for the soft sounds of gloves hitting bags and quiet breaths. Mrs. Johnson watched her closely. "This is your moment," she said. "All the work you have done leads to this night. Trust your training and your heart." Maya nodded and took a deep breath, feeling stronger than ever. Meanwhile, Ethan was facing his own challenges. His father had been clear. Ethan needed to reflect on his actions and prove he could be responsible. At school, Ethan tried to make amends, quietly helping others and avoiding old habits, but it was hard to change overnight, and sometimes he still felt lost without the power he once held. That afternoon, Maya's phone buzzed with messages of support from friends, family, and even some classmates she barely knew. "We believe in you," one message read. "Show them who you really are." These words filled her with energy, reminding her that she was not fighting alone. The community she built was her true strength. The night of the tournament arrived, and the arena was filled with bright lights and eager faces. Maya's first match was against a tough opponent, a girl known for her speed and agility. As the bell rang, Maya focused inside, blocking out the noise. Moving with grace and power, her punches landed with precision and she dodged attacks with quick, smooth steps. With each round, Maya's confidence grew. The crowd cheered louder, inspired by her strength and determination. Her opponent fought hard, but Maya's heart won, and the match ended with Maya's victory. The feeling of winning was sweet, but Maya knew the hardest fights were still ahead. Between matches, Ethan stood quietly watching. His eyes followed Maya with a mix of admiration and humility. He could see the truth now. Strength came from hard work and courage, not from wealth and bullying. Maya's spirit had changed something in him, something he was only beginning to understand. In the next round, Maya faced an even stronger opponent, a champion from another town. The match was intense with fast punches and skillful moves. Both fighters showed respect to each other, knowing that this was not about hate, but about proving their best. Maya remembered her coach's words to stay calm and believe in herself. Round after round, Maya pushed harder than ever. Her muscles burned and sweat dripped, but her spirit never broke. The final round came, and with one strong move, Maya landed a perfect punch, winning the match. The crowd erupted in cheers, and Maya's heart soared. After the tournament, the awards ceremony was filled with emotion. Maya held her trophy tightly, proud of what she had achieved. But she also thought about the people who helped her, her family, friends, coach, and even those who once doubted her. This victory was a team effort. Ethan approached Maya after the ceremony, his face sincere. "You are amazing," he said. "I'm sorry for everything. You've shown me what real strength means." Maya smiled, knowing that forgiveness was part of the journey. "Thank you, Ethan. Everyone can change if they want to," she replied. The respect between them was real now, built from shared experience. As the night ended, Maya looked up at the stars, feeling grateful. The journey from the prom, when she was humiliated and targeted, to this moment of victory had been long and hard, but every step had made her stronger. Every fight had shaped her into the person she was meant to be. Maya knew that life would bring new challenges, but she was ready. She would keep fighting. Not just in the ring, but for justice, kindness, and respect. Her story was no longer just about being bullied. It was about rising above and inspiring others to do the same. And somewhere deep inside, Maya knew that this was only the beginning of a greater journey. A journey where she would use her voice and her fists to change the world around her. The weeks after the big tournament brought a quiet calm to Maya's life, but the challenges she faced were far from over. At school, new friendships blossomed, and Maya's story inspired many students to stand up for themselves. But some still held old grudges. The road to true respect was not easy or straight. One afternoon, Maya received an invitation to a special meeting from the school principal. Curious but cautious, she attended. The room was filled with teachers and students coming together to talk about respect, bullying, and unity. Maya's courage had sparked a change that the school wanted to support. During the meeting, Maya spoke about her journey, how boxing taught her strength and courage, but also how kindness and forgiveness were important. Her words moved many, and the principal promised to create programs to help students feel safe and supported. This moment was a victory beyond any ring or trophy. It was a step toward a better community. Meanwhile, Ethan was trying to rebuild his reputation. Not everyone believed he had truly changed, but day by day, he showed kindness and respect, volunteering for school projects and helping others quietly. Ethan discovered that real respect came from actions, not words. He also continued to support Maya in her fights, proud of her achievements. One evening after school, Maya trained harder than ever at the gym. Her dreams were bigger now, and she wanted to prepare for a national championship. Mrs. Johnson encouraged her every step. "You've come so far, Maya, but the best fight is the one where you stay true to yourself," she said. Maya smiled, knowing her coach believed in her heart. As the national championship drew closer, the pressure increased. But Maya remained calm, practicing her punches, her footwork, and her mental strength. She started teaching younger girls at the gym, sharing her courage and passion. Her story was no longer just hers. It was a message of hope to many. One day, Ethan surprised Maya with a visit to the gym. "I want to learn more about what you do here," he said, genuinely interested. Maya welcomed him, and together, they trained, Ethan learning the discipline and respect that boxing taught. Their friendship grew stronger, built on trust and shared experiences. The boy who once bullied was becoming a better person. As the championship approached, Maya faced tough opponents and long days, but she fought with honor, inspired by the people who believed in her. The national stage was bigger, louder, and filled with new challenges, but Maya's heart was steady. She was ready to show the world what true strength looked like. The championship fight was fierce. Maya's opponent was fast and powerful, but Maya's focus was unbreakable. The crowd watched as Maya moved gracefully, landing punches with precision, dodging attacks with skill. Every moment was a test of her training and will. When the final bell rang, Maya stood victorious. Her win was more than a personal achievement. It was a triumph for everyone who believed in courage, respect, and change. Maya's story spread across the country, inspiring young fighters, students, and anyone facing their own battles. But Maya stayed humble, knowing her journey was still unfolding. After the championship, Maya and Ethan sat down to talk about the past and the future. "I never thought I would learn so much from you," Ethan said. "You taught me that real strength comes from within," Maya smiled. "And you taught me that people can grow and change." Their friendship was a symbol of hope, a reminder that even the toughest fights could lead to understanding. As the school year ended, Maya looked to the future with hope and determination. Her journey had started with pain and bullying, but it had grown into a story of courage, forgiveness, and victory. Maya knew the road ahead would still have obstacles, but she was ready. With her fists, her voice, and her heart, she would face whatever came next. And so, the story of the new black girl who was once bullied by a rich boy grew into a legend of strength and change. A story that showed how courage and kindness could overcome hate and arrogance. Maya's journey was a lesson for all, a reminder that true power lies in the spirit, and everyone deserves respect and a chance to shine. The months following the national championship brought new opportunities and challenges for Maya. Her story had reached far beyond her school and local community, inspiring people from different backgrounds and places. Invitations to speak at events, community gatherings, and schools poured in. Maya's voice became louder and stronger, sharing the message of courage, respect, and hope. Back at school, Maya continued to balance her training with her studies and community work. She started a support group for students dealing with bullying and low self-esteem. Offering a safe space to share and grow, many students joined, finding comfort in Maya's kindness and strength. Her leadership was natural and inspiring. Ethan, too, had grown, proving himself through actions rather than words. He volunteered alongside Maya in the support group. Their friendship deepened, built on mutual respect and shared experiences. Ethan learned patience and humility, and Maya saw the power of forgiveness and change together. They became a force for positive growth in their school. One afternoon, the school announced a new community service award, highlighting students who made a difference through kindness and leadership. Maya was nominated by her teachers and peers. The award was a recognition not only of her achievements in boxing, but of the courage it took to stand up against bullying and inspire others. At the ceremony, Maya spoke from the heart about her journey, reminding everyone that strength comes from hope and community. Meanwhile, Maya's boxing career was reaching new heights. She was training for international competitions, pushing herself to excel. But even with her busy schedule, Maya stayed grounded, remembering where she came from and the struggles she had faced. Her family and friends remained her pillars of support. Their love and belief in her gave her the strength to keep moving forward. Despite the positive changes, Maya still faced challenges. Some people doubted her motives or underestimated her. But Maya's focus never wavered. She knew that true strength wasn't about pleasing everyone but staying true to herself and her values. Every setback was a lesson, every criticism fuel for growth. One evening, Maya and Ethan planned a community boxing event to raise funds for local charities. The event would bring together people from many backgrounds, celebrating unity through sports and friendship. As word spread, excitement grew. And on the day of the event, the gym was filled with smiles, laughter, and cheers. Maya's opening speech moved many. "We all have fights in our lives," she said, "but together, we are stronger." The matches that followed were not just about competition, but about connection, respect, and community spirit. Ethan supported Maya proudly, no longer a rival but an ally. Their journey from conflict to collaboration was an example to all. As the event ended, Maya looked around at the happy faces, grateful for the journey that had brought her here, from the night of the prom, when she was humiliated and singled out, to now, where she stood as a champion and leader. The story was one of transformation and hope. Maya's life was a powerful reminder to everyone that courage and kindness could overcome hate and arrogance. That strength was not just about fighting in the ring, but fighting for a better world. And as Maya looked to the future, she knew her greatest battles were still ahead. But she was ready, with heart, fists, and an unbreakable spirit. Graduation day arrived with bright sunshine and excited faces. Maya stood among her classmates, proud and confident. The journey from the girl who had faced bullying and humiliation at prom to the young woman ready to face the world had been long and full of growth. As she looked around, Maya saw familiar faces, friends, teachers, and even Ethan, each part of her story. The ceremony was filled with speeches celebrating achievements and futures. When it was Maya's turn to speak, she took a deep breath and stepped to the podium. She spoke about strength, not just physical, but the strength to be kind, to forgive, and to stand tall against injustice. Her words were simple but powerful. Inspiring many, Maya thanked her coach, Mrs. Johnson, her family, and the friends who had supported her through challenges. She reminded everyone that their own story was still being written and that courage was a daily choice. The applause was loud and sincere, filling Maya's heart with hope and pride. After graduation, Maya received scholarship offers to continue boxing and study at a university. She chose a school with a strong community and programs to help young people from all walks of life. Maya wanted to continue not only her sport but also her work helping others find their voice. Her dream was bigger now, to make a difference in the world. Ethan stayed in touch, working hard to support his own goals, but the friendship they had built was real and lasting. They often talked about their journeys and how much they had changed. Ethan said, "You taught me that life isn't just about winning, but about how you play the game," Maya smiled. "And you showed me the power of forgiveness and second chances." Maya's boxing career grew, with new challenges and victories, but she stayed humble and focused, knowing that true success was measured by the lives she touched and the kindness she shared. She continued speaking at events and volunteering, becoming a leader both in and out of the ring. Her story inspired books, articles, and videos, sharing a message that hate and bullying could be overcome by courage and respect. Maya became a symbol of hope to many young people who face their own battles, reminding them that strength comes from within. In quiet moments, Maya thought back to the night of prom, to Ethan's arrogance and the fear she once felt. Those memories were part of her, but they did not define her. Instead, she used them as fuel to become stronger and better. She was proud of who she was and excited for the future. Maya knew that life would continue to bring challenges and new fights, but she was ready, armed with her fists, her voice, and a heart full of courage. Her journey showed that even when life seems hard, anyone could rise above pain and hatred to find peace and strength. And so, the story of the arrogant millionaire's son and the new black girl who was a ruthless boxer came to a hopeful close. The boy who once bullied had learned humility and respect. The girl who once felt powerless had become a champion and a leader. Their story was a reminder to all that true power is not given or taken, but earned through kindness, courage, and the willingness to change. Maya's journey was proof that anyone could overcome their past and shine brightly in their own way.